Well, welcome back, everyone. It's just another day in the life as a military wife, and I'm really excited this week to be sharing with you a partnership I have with Brave Books in an event that I will be doing with them live. It is called See You at the Library. I'm going to let you know a little bit more about Brave Books this week and what's going on with this event, and I am just really excited to share it all with you. As always, I'm your host, Sam Wolf, and you are listening to Life of a Military Wife. Okay, so I want to just start explaining this a little bit more. Brave Books is a publishing company that makes books that are pro God, pro American, and they have a book club for kids. It's $15 a month, or you can buy the books individually. There's several different, basically series of these books. They've made quite a few books, activity books, and other products. And the whole company, the head of the company is Kirk Cameron. A lot of you will be familiar with Kirk Cameron. He is an actor, director, producer, and now author. He wrote one of these books. And the book that they sent me was the book that Kirk wrote. Really excited about this partnership. I've heard about these books. I've been wanting to get them for my kids. They seemed interesting and exciting. I've seen the illustrations and thought they looked nice. So when I had the opportunity to get involved and help sponsor one of their events here, sponsor one of their events, I jumped at the opportunity, and I really do believe in the importance of literature and reading to children. And so the thought of doing a story hour for kids where I could introduce these books to the community that I am a part of, as well as um, introducing those to the military community, but as well as sharing um, deployment related stuff and some other resources that would be helpful to the community. I just jumped at it. I thought it would be a great opportunity. So these books are set up around a fictional world. It's an archipelago centered around Freedom Island. There's different, you can, when you get the, if you get the subscription, then you'll get one book each month. You get a map, you get stickers to go with it and everything. And it seems really cool, but if you don't want to expend that and buy a year subscription or whatever, then you can do the others, which is just buy the books independently as you go. It is more expensive if you do that, but they're just really fun books. They have a connective storyline where they're having adventures, and it's all these different characters. Anyway, you can so yeah, you can get them independently or through the subscription. And what I liked about the book once I actually got it and was looking through it, first of all, the art is fantastic. And this is one thing I really wanted to highlight for you guys. So the book they sent me is called As You Grow, and it was written by Kirk Cameron. The art is by Juan Moreno, and I love the artwork. One of my favorite things about children's storybooks is when the artwork has all of this extra little detail in it. And I've been really disappointed. There are some books, and if the story is great, it's fine. But if you can have a little bit less in the images, or it's okay if it's more simple and direct. There are just some kids' books I have seen recently where the artwork genuinely looks like it was done by a 8-year-old. And that's a style choice, I guess. And if the story, like I said, if the story is fantastic, you can get away with it. But I particularly, maybe it's just because I have an artistic family, love it when children's books have all these extra little details in it for the kids to look at because it just makes me happy. I love looking at all of the little intricate pictures. This book has so much fun little details and images and stuff going on in the artwork, which is fantastic and just really eye-catching. and I enjoyed very much. I very much enjoyed the artwork in that book. The other thing is, it is a straightforward story. It's not super complex or wordy, so it's one that little kids are going to be able to follow, like little kids. But I said also, because the images are so captivating, older kids are going to be captivated by it as well. And there's that's the thing. You can tell a really captivating story with fantastic illustrations. And you can tell a really captivating story with words. And when you have a good storyline and captivating art, it works really well together. Again, straightforward, not really wordy of a book. One of my issues with some children's books that you go to sit down and they're supposed to be a picture book and you're planning on sitting down and reading it to like a 5 or 6 or 7 year old. And then all of a sudden there's like paragraphs, absolute full on paragraphs of text, and you're sitting there going, how do I abbreviate this? Because they just don't have the attention span for that. And this does not do that by any means. Each page has got text to it, or each set of pages, but it's about a couple sentences at most. And so it's not super wordy. Then the other thing is, there are games and activities in the back of the books for parents, which I find fantastic. There is different things you can do with your kids. It tells you how it like helps coach you through meaningful conversations that are parent led and value based teaching opportunities. And that is fantastic because a lot of parents, a lot of people want to sit down and read a book to their kids, nieces, nephews, grandkids, whatever, to the children in their life. And they feel inadequate because maybe they don't know how to present a book in a way that is captivating, or they don't know how to carry on a conversation about the book in a way that's going to continue the educational process past the initial reading of the book. And this is something I have seen only a couple times before. Dolly Parton's Imagination Library has this in the dust covers of a lot of the books, is questions you can ask the kids to make the reading experience more engaging. And that's great for parents who are learning this technique and skill set. And this one doesn't just have a couple suggestions. This has a whole huge section in the back of the book. And I'm not joking. It is, let me see. I didn't quite count it. It is quite near like 10 pages worth of additional content in the back of the book, which I think is fantastic. And so I really love that about the book. I'm excited to be able to share this book at the story hour that I'm going to be doing. It's called See You at the Library. I am hosting the See You at the Library event for Fort Carson. And my event, again, I will hit on the Brave Books collaboration that I am currently doing and share that information with the families. I have also gone through the process of collecting a wide variety of book resources for children dealing with deployments. So that's the other topic I'm going to hit. The whole concept of this See You at the Library thing is to have a patriotic, value based story hour experience for children. And I'm planning on covering the Pledge of Allegiance with the kids, and I've got little American flags for the kids, and I've got a whole bunch of resources for parents to look through, because this is another thing I've run into as a military spouse mom situation. You want to get resources for your children, but we're not made of money. Like, we don't have the ability to buy everything out there. And there is a wide variety of quality in these books. A lot of the ones that are put out there are written by military people for military people. They're doing the very best they can to get out a concept or a story on their limited budget. A lot of these are self-publishing things that have started to take off. And so I get that, and I get the restraint, that is in the constraints, that's a better word, constraints that are involved in this process. And so it's helpful for parents to be able to sit and look through these resources ahead of time to determine, I think this one's going to be best for my kids, or, ooh, I think this one's going to be best for my kids, opposed to just trying to read some reviews online and make a guess and hope that it's a good fit. There are a lot of fantastic books and resources out there. There are ones that I think are good. They're not my favorite, but they might be your favorite. And so, one of the things I really want to be able to do is have those resources, my copies of them, not to give out, but for people to look at. These are the books that I have felt are good, varying levels of favorite versus, it's okay, but it's not my favorite, and just let people have the opportunity to see these resources and decide for themselves. This is one I want to pursue. This is one I don't want to pursue, and make those choices for themselves economically. If they want to buy all of them, great. If not, great. If they want to buy the Brave books instead, great. But I want to give people resources so they can make these decisions for themselves. The other thing is, if there is a whole lot of interest in some of these books, then maybe we can bring it up to the military libraries and say, hey, could we have a section with XYZ books in it? Because one thing I have realized is our military library doesn't have a lot of these books in it, which is sad. The other thing is, Army Community Services is a fantastic resource, and I have talked about them in the past. I'm hoping that they are able to attend. They said they're going to try to find someone to come to my event. And they have a lot of really great books that you can get for free when you do your intake. So if you are facing a deployment or a separation, hardship tour, whatever it is, you can go into Army Community Resources, set up an appointment, explain what your family's at, what your family needs, and they will help hook you up with resources. And a lot of these cases, it is free things for your kids, like daddy dolls, these calendars for deployments to help track them for your kids, books, all sorts of stuff. And that is fantastic. The other thing I have put together that I am going to have available at my event is my pre deployment checklist. And I put this together a while back, and it has to do with different things you may not have thought of, or whatever, just different things to go through and get ready for a big separation, a longer term separation than maybe a week or so. And the part of the reason why I ended up putting this together is because there's a lot of pre-deployment checklists out there. And I definitely took inspiration from some of the ones that are already existing, but I changed and condensed and added things that I personally, from my experience of having gone through multiple long periods of separation from my spouse with kids, have just found really, really, really helpful. This is a checklist I have used personally to make sure that I am ready and prepared, because one of the keys to preparing for deployments and separations is preparation. If you are prepared and you feel comfortable and confident that deployment or TDY or the hardship tour, fill in the blank, is just going to go more smoothly, and you will be able to feel more at peace. And that at least is something I have experienced, and that's my personal take on it. I feel like preparation helps with that. It also helps the kids, because when you're able to feel more at peace and confident, like you've got this and that you've got resources for them, then they are able to sense that from you and be able to feel more secure themselves. So that is part of the whole shebang on why I wanted to do the format I'm doing. And so I'm really grateful that Brave Books is working with me on this, that they have provided me some really fantastic resources, but then they're also giving me the freedom to explore the needs of the military community and provide resources and opportunities that are tailor-made for the military community that I'm a part of. And part of it is I'm going to be reading Paper Hug, which I like the story and the sentiment in that book particularly, and I think it's really cute. My kids liked that story a lot, and we've made paper hugs as a family, and so that's one thing we'll be doing at the event is making paper hugs. The kids will have the opportunity to make paper hugs to give to their service member, family member, for separations, deployments, whatnot. So I'm really, really excited about that. There is a few things I have just this has been kind of a crazy summer. I have ended up doing more things in some areas than I thought I would and less things in other areas than I thought I would. I still have some collaborations and things on the table, and I'm hoping that they will still come about. But regardless of that, I hope that any of you who are listening, who are in the Fort Carson area, who are interested in hearing more about See You at the Library, Brave Books, and getting deployment resources, will join me 10:30 this Saturday, August 5th. And I don't normally do live public in-person events. This is actually the first one for the podcast. I've mostly done webinars and other things. So this is a new experience and I am really excited for it. However, this is the other thing. I'm just giving you all a head up. Because this is something that I'm doing in a professional setting, I'm probably not going to have my whole family there because it's hard to be mom and be the person running an event at the same time. So, that's just how it is. Anyway, I am really, really excited for this opportunity to meet you guys in person and to have this like in-person experience, not exactly one-on-one, but in-person experience with you all. That said, there's just been a lot of really exciting growth for the channel and a lot of really cool things coming up. I am still working on a project that it just doesn't look like it's going to happen in the timely manner I wanted it to, partly because I did not have this idea early enough. There are a lot of military families that homeschool, and I wanted to be able to put together a homeschool panel of homeschooling moms that are military moms for you guys and have the opportunity for you guys to get some ideas and resources from them. However, I did not come up with this idea and game plan soon enough to be able to do it so that I wasn't causing conflicts with everyone's schedules. So I'm hoping that I can do this in the future in a way that is still helpful to everyone. But I should have thought of this back in April, March, and I didn't. So gonna plan on that one a little bit better. The other thing I wanted to let everyone know is I am hoping to moving forward to have some more in-person events coming up before the end of the year, as well as some more collaborations and interviews. So please, I know that I say this and some of you guys might feel like I don't get to all of your suggestions. I'm trying to get to as many as I can. But if you have any suggestions or ideas on topics or individuals that you think would be good for the podcast, please, please, please email them, message them to me. Just send it out. I would love to include as many as I possibly can. And I am very grateful for all of the individuals I have had who have agreed to do collaborations and interviews and whatnot. Specifically, the ones I had this summer, it was a wonderful blessing for my family for me to have been able to conduct all of those interviews and not have to be recording podcast episodes every single week so that I could have a little bit more family time And I've really valued that. So I'm grateful I was still able to get you guys high quality content, but have quality family time at the same time. So that is what's going on with the channel and with me as of right now. There's growing and all sorts of stuff, and I am enthusiastic and ready to see what comes next. So that's where we're at. As always, I am your host, Sam Wolf, and you are listening to Life of a Military Wife.